My beloved child, something has already begun to move in the place you cannot see. You may not feel it yet. You may not have evidence in your hands. When you look around, everything may appear exactly as it did yesterday. The same questions remain. The same uncertainty follows you. The prayer you have whispered so many times still seems to be waiting for an answer. But I need you to hear me now. Silence does not mean nothing is happening. I have heard you. I heard the prayer you could barely finish because your heart was tired. I heard the words you spoke with confidence, and I heard the ones you whispered while wondering whether you still had enough faith to keep believing. I heard them all, and I saw what no one else saw. I saw you trying to remain strong when you were exhausted inside. I saw you encouraging others while carrying questions of your own. I saw the moments when you smiled so no one would ask what was wrong. I even saw that quiet moment when you wondered, how much longer can I keep doing this? My child, I know. You have not stopped believing in me. You are simply tired of waiting for something to change. There is a difference, and I do not condemn you for being tired. You have carried uncertainty for longer than you expected. You thought some things would have been resolved by now. You believed certain doors would have opened. You expected clarity to come sooner, yet here you are, still waiting, still praying, still trying to trust me. And perhaps a question has quietly entered your heart. God, have you forgotten me? No, my beloved, I have not forgotten you. Not for a moment. What feels motionless to you is not motionless to me. There are things I can see that you cannot yet see. There are places ahead of you that you have not reached. There are changes happening within you that you may not recognize until you look back. So do not measure my work only by what your eyes can confirm today. My silence was never my absence. Sometimes I work loudly, and you recognize my hand immediately. Other times I work beneath the surface, quietly, patiently, deeply. And those seasons can be difficult because faith must continue without constant proof. But this is where I ask you to remain near me. Do not run ahead because you are afraid. Do not turn back because you are tired. Stay with me. You do not have to understand everything tonight. You do not have to solve tomorrow before you sleep. You do not need to know exactly when the answer will come or how the path will unfold. For now, my child, give me this moment. Let your heart become quiet enough to remember who is walking with you. I am still here. I am still guiding you. I am still holding what you placed into my hands. And even when your strength feels small, your faith does not have to be loud to reach me. A trembling prayer is still a prayer. A tired heart can still trust. A small step taken with me is still a step forward. So trust me a little longer. Not because I am asking you to pretend that this season has been easy. It has not. I know what it has cost you. I know the nights that felt longer than they should have. I know the disappointment you carried into another morning. I know how many times you had to gather yourself and continue when you would rather have had an answer. But, my beloved child, there is something about this season you have not yet understood. You thought you were only waiting for your circumstances to change. You thought these months were simply empty space between your prayer and its answer. They were not. While you were watching the door, I was working within your heart. While you were asking, when will this change? I was preparing you in ways you could not yet recognize. And before you see what lies ahead, I want you to understand what this waiting has already been doing inside you. My child, you thought you were only waiting for an answer, waiting for clarity, waiting for something outside of you to finally move. And because you could not see that movement, there were days when you wondered whether this season had any purpose at all. I understand. Waiting can make even a faithful heart tired. At first, you prayed with expectation. You believed the answer could come at any moment. You woke up looking for a sign. You watched for the door to open. You hoped that perhaps today would finally be the day when everything became clear. Then days became weeks. Weeks became months. And slowly, expectation became exhaustion. You still loved me. You still believed. But somewhere inside you, the question changed. Instead of asking, when will it happen, you began asking, will it happen at all? I heard that question too, and I was not disappointed in you. My beloved, I know what waiting does to the heart. I know how difficult it is to continue walking when you cannot see where the road is leading. I know how easily silence can begin to feel like rejection. But listen carefully to me. You were never only waiting. You were learning. You were growing. You were becoming. There were things inside you that could only become visible when life stopped moving according to your plans. You discovered how quickly fear could speak when answers were delayed. You discovered how deeply you wanted to control what came next. You began to recognize which voices brought peace and which ones filled you with confusion. You learned that not everyone could carry your heart carefully, and little by little, you learned to bring more of yourself to me. Not only your beautiful prayers, not only your gratitude, but your frustration, your disappointment, your questions, your tears. You began speaking to me more honestly. And, my child, that matters. You thought faith meant never feeling uncertain. I was teaching you that faith can remain even when certainty disappears. You thought strength meant never becoming tired. I was teaching you that sometimes strength is simply choosing not to walk away. You thought waiting meant nothing was happening. But I was preparing your heart to carry what comes next, without losing yourself in it. So do not despise this season simply because it did not look the way you expected. I know it hurt. I know there are lessons you would rather have learned another way. I know you would have preferred an immediate answer instead of a long road. I am not asking you to call the pain pleasant. I am asking you to trust that I did not waste it. Nothing you placed into my hands in faith was wasted. Every time you chose prayer instead of despair, something was being strengthened. Every time you returned to me after doubt had shaken you, your roots were growing deeper. Every time you said, God, I do not understand, but I am still here, you were learning a faith that does not depend entirely on circumstances. So stay with me. Do not abandon what I am forming in you simply because you cannot yet see the finished work. Do not compare your timing with someone else's. Their road is not your road. Their season is not your season. Walk with me on the path I have placed before you. One day at a time, one prayer at a time, one faithful step at a time. You do not need to force an answer. You do not need to make something happen simply because you are uncomfortable with waiting. Let me lead you. There is peace in allowing me to be God. There is freedom in admitting that you cannot control every outcome. And perhaps that has been one of the hardest lessons of all. Because underneath your frustration with waiting, my beloved, there has been another struggle. You want to know. You want to know when things will change. You want to know which decision will be right. You want to know who will stay, which door will open, and what tomorrow will bring. You want the whole road revealed before you take another step. I understand why. After everything you have been through, uncertainty can feel frightening. But, my child, I am not asking you to see the entire road. I am asking you to trust the one who already does. My beloved child, I already see the road you cannot see. I know where it turns. I know where it becomes difficult. I know which doors will not be right for you, and I know where you will need courage to keep moving forward. You do not have to know all of this today. I know you wish you did. You want answers because uncertainty has hurt you before. You remember what it felt like to trust something and watch it fall apart. You remember making decisions with hope, only to discover that things did not unfold the way you expected. So now, you want to be careful. You want to protect your heart. You want to know what will happen before you give yourself permission to move. I understand that, my child. I do not look at your questions and become angry with you. I do not condemn you because part of you is afraid of making another mistake. But I want to free you from the burden of believing that you must understand everything before you can have peace. You do not. You do not need the entire map when you are walking with the one who knows the way. You only need enough light for the step before you. And when that step is taken, I will meet you there. Then I will lead you again. This is how I want you to walk with me. Not 10 years at a time. Not even 10 months at a time. Today. Give me today. When tomorrow arrives, I will be there too. You have spent too much strength trying to enter days that have not yet come. Your mind travels ahead, imagining conversations that may never happen, problems that do not yet exist, losses that have not occurred. Then your heart becomes tired from fighting battles that were never placed before you. Come back to me. Come back to this moment. Give me what you cannot control, the outcome you keep rehearsing, the person whose decision you cannot change, The door you cannot force open. The answer you cannot produce. Place it in my hands. You have held it tightly because you thought holding it would keep you safe. But, my beloved, some things become heavier the longer you try to control them. Let me carry what was never yours to carry alone. This does not mean you stop making wise decisions. It does not mean you sit still when I am asking you to move. It means you stop demanding certainty before obedience. Ask me for wisdom. Listen. Then take the next good step you know to take. Walk with me today. If I ask you to wait, wait with me. If I ask you to move, move with me. If a door remains closed, do not destroy your peace trying to force it. If the path changes, do not immediately assume you have been abandoned. I can guide you through changes too. Sometimes, my direction will make sense immediately. Sometimes, it will not. Faith is not knowing every detail of what I will do. Faith is knowing who I am when the details remain hidden. Remember this when fear begins asking you for guarantees. Remember it when your mind says, "But what if everything goes wrong?" You can answer gently, "My God will be with me there too." That is enough, my child. You do not need a promise that every day will be easy. You need to remember that no difficult day can remove my presence from you. You do not need to know that everyone will stay. You need to know that I will remain. You do not need every question answered tonight. You need somewhere safe to place the questions. Place them here, with me, and breathe again. There is no shame in not knowing what comes next. There is no failure in admitting, "God, I cannot see the way from here." Sometimes that admission is where trust truly begins. So loosen your grip on tomorrow. Let it remain where it belongs, in my hands. I will give you wisdom when wisdom is needed, strength when strength is needed, courage when courage is needed. And when the next step becomes clear, I will help you take it. But there is something else I want to teach your heart. Because even after you surrender tomorrow to me, your mind may try to take it back. You may lie down to rest, only to begin solving everything again. You may pray and feel peaceful for a moment, then return to the same fear an hour later. I know. And I will not become impatient with you. I will simply call you back again and again, until you begin to understand that peace does not come from finally controlling tomorrow. Peace begins when you no longer believe you have to. And this, my child, is what I want to teach your heart next. I want to teach you how to rest. My child, I want to teach your heart how to rest. Not only when everything is going well, not only when every question has been answered. I want you to learn to rest while some things are still unfinished, because for too long you have believed that peace must wait until the problem disappears. You tell yourself, "I will rest when this is resolved. I will breathe when I know what happens. I will finally feel peaceful when everything is in its proper place." But then one concern ends and another one arrives. One question is answered and your mind finds another question to carry. And without realizing it, you keep postponing your peace. My beloved, I see how tired this has made you. Your body may sit down while your mind continues running. You lie in bed, but inside you are still working, still planning, still remembering, still preparing for conversations that have not happened, still imagining what you will do if the worst possibility becomes real. I know why. There were moments in your life when pain arrived without warning. There were disappointments you did not expect. There were people whose actions surprised you. And somewhere along the way, your heart began to believe that if you worried enough, perhaps you could prevent yourself from being surprised again. But worry cannot protect you, my child. Worry is not preparation. It only asks you to suffer tomorrow's possibilities before tomorrow has even arrived. And I do not want you to live that way. Come to me. Bring me the thought that keeps returning. Bring me the conversation you keep replaying. Bring me the question you cannot answer. You do not need beautiful words. Just speak. Tell me, God, this is what I am afraid of. Tell me what hurts. Tell me what you wish would change. Tell me what you are afraid to lose. I already know. But when you speak honestly with me, you stop carrying everything alone. Do not rehearse your fear. Speak to me instead, and then remain with me for a while. You do not always need another answer. Sometimes you need my presence. You do not always need another plan. Sometimes your weary heart simply needs permission to become quiet. So rest with me. Rest does not mean you have stopped caring. Rest does not mean you have lost your courage. And rest does not mean you are ignoring the responsibilities I have placed before you. It means you understand that you are human and I am God. There are things you can do. Do them faithfully. There are conversations you need to have them with wisdom. There are decisions you need to make them prayerfully. But when you reach the edge of what you can do, stop punishing yourself for not being able to do what only I can do. Give the rest to me. My child, you do not have to hold the entire world together. You never did. Let your shoulders come down. Let your breathing slow. Let this moment belong to me instead of your fear. I am here. When your mind wanders back toward worry, return to me. If it happens 10 times, return 10 times. If tomorrow you feel anxious again, come again. I will not say, "Why are you back?" I will receive you, again and again. This is how peace becomes stronger within you, not because you never feel fear again, but because fear is no longer the only voice you listen to. You begin to recognize mine, the voice that says, "You are not alone. Take the next step. Leave tomorrow with me. Rest now." And little by little, my beloved, you will notice something changing. The circumstances around you may not have changed yet, but they no longer have the same power to control what is happening within you. That is not weakness. That is growing faith. So tonight, do not carry tomorrow into your bed. Do what you can. Pray about what you cannot. Then rest. I will still be God while you sleep. I will still be present when your eyes close. And morning does not need your worry in order to arrive. Trust me with what remains unfinished, because when your heart finally becomes quiet enough to stop fighting every possible future, you may begin to see your past differently too. You may look again at the things that did not work, the prayers that seemed unanswered, the people who walked away, the doors you cried over when they closed. And perhaps, my child, you will begin to wonder whether everything you called a loss was truly meant to remain in your life. My beloved child, I know there are doors you still think about, things you wanted to work, plans you carried with hope, people you believed would remain beside you. You prayed, you waited, you tried to do what was right, and still something ended. A door closed, a plan changed, someone walked away, or perhaps you reached for something with all your heart and watched it remain beyond your reach. I know that hurt. I know there were moments when you did not understand why I allowed it. You may have asked me, "If you love me, why didn't you let this work? Why did you allow me to hope for something that did not remain? Why did I pray and still have to let it go?" My child, I heard those questions, and I never judged you for asking them. Loss can make you question things you once felt certain about. Rejection can make you examine yourself and wonder whether you were not good enough. A closed door can make you stand outside it for far too long, wondering what you could have done differently. But listen to me now. Do not measure your worth by what did not choose you. Do not measure my love by what I did not allow to remain. There are things you cannot yet see from where you are standing. There are consequences you were never meant to carry. There are roads that looked beautiful from the entrance but would not have brought the peace you imagined. And sometimes, my beloved, what you experienced as rejection was also redirection. Sometimes the closed door protected your attention from being trapped in the wrong place. Sometimes the ending forced you to move when you would have remained somewhere simply because it was familiar. Sometimes what disappeared created room for healing you had postponed for too long. You may not understand every loss this way, and I am not asking you to pretend that everything that hurt was easy or good. Some things truly wounded you. Some endings deserved your tears. Some disappointments took time to accept. I know, but even there, I was with you. I did not stand at a distance while you suffered. I remained close while your heart learned how to release what it could no longer hold. And I am still close now. So if there is a door you continue to knock on only because you are afraid there will never be another one, stop for a moment. Look at me. Do not chase what I am asking you to release. You do not have to force your way into every place. You do not have to convince everyone to value you. You do not have to keep returning to something that repeatedly steals your peace simply because you once prayed for it. Sometimes faith means asking me to open a door. But sometimes faith means trusting me when it remains closed. That kind of trust is harder. I know. Because you want an explanation. You want to know what I protected you from. You want me to show you exactly why it happened. And perhaps one day some of those answers will become clear. But you do not need every explanation in order to heal. Leave that door in my hands. Leave that person in my hands. Leave the missed opportunity there too. Do not keep reopening yesterday just to ask it for a different ending. My child, yesterday cannot give you one. But I can lead you forward, and there is still life ahead of you. There are still meaningful days ahead. There is still love to give. There is still purpose in your steps. There are still places where your gifts will matter, people you can bless, and moments of peace that you have not yet experienced. So lift your eyes from what closed. Not because it meant nothing, but because it does not get to define everything that comes next. Trust my direction. If I redirect you, walk with me. If I ask you to release something, let me help you loosen your hands. You do not have to let go all at once. Bring the pain to me as many times as you need. Say, God, I still miss it. Say, I still don't understand. Say, part of me still wants to go back. I can handle your honesty. Then let me remind you, you are not going backward. You are learning to walk without what you once believed you could never live without. And look at you, my beloved. You are still here, still praying, still loving, still becoming. That loss did not destroy everything within you. That rejection did not take away your value. That closed door did not close your future. In fact, while you were grieving what had left your life, something else was quietly happening. You were changing. Your prayers were changing. Your boundaries were changing. The things you were willing to accept were changing. Even the way you recognized peace was changing. You kept asking me to change what was around you. And all this time, my child, I was also doing something much closer to home. I was changing you. My child, perhaps you have been so focused on what has not changed that you have not noticed how much you have. You still see the unanswered prayer. I see the person who now prays differently. You still remember the door that closed. I see the wisdom you gained after you stopped standing in front of it. You still think about what hurt you. I see the heart that survived it without becoming what wounded it. Look again, my beloved. Not at everything around you. Look at who you are becoming. There was a time when every disappointment could steal your peace for days. Now you are learning to bring disappointment to me before it becomes despair. There was a time when another person's opinion could make you question your worth. Now something within you is beginning to understand that you do not need everyone to approve of the path I am leading you on. There was a time when fear spoke and you immediately believed it. Now you pause, you pray, you listen. You ask whether the voice in your mind is leading you toward peace or pulling you deeper into confusion. These changes may seem small to you. They are not small to me. Growth is often quiet. It does not always announce itself. Sometimes you only recognize it when an old situation returns and you respond in a new way. The words that once would have broken you no longer reach as deeply. The silence that once made you panic now sends you into prayer. The person you once chased for reassurance no longer determines whether you can sleep peacefully at night. You are learning. You are becoming steadier. And no, my child, you are not finished. I am still working in you. But do not overlook what has already changed simply because you have not yet arrived where you want to be. You kept asking me to change the situation, while I was also changing you. I know you would not have chosen some of the ways these lessons came. You would not have chosen the disappointment. You would not have chosen the loneliness. You would not have chosen the long nights when your thoughts would not become quiet. And I will never ask you to pretend those moments did not hurt. Bring that truth to me. You can say, God, I learned from it, but it still hurt. I understand. Healing does not require you to deny the wound. Faith does not require you to smile at everything that caused you pain. What I ask is that you do not allow yesterday's wound to decide who you will become tomorrow. Let me form something different within you. Let the pain make you wiser without making you cold. Let disappointment teach you discernment without teaching you to distrust everyone. Let the closed door teach you surrender without making you afraid to hope again. Let the waiting deepen your faith without hardening your heart. Stay close to me. I know how to shape your heart without destroying its tenderness. I know how to make you stronger without making you bitter. I know how to teach you boundaries while keeping love alive within you. You do not have to become hard to become strong. Remember that. The world may tell you that after being hurt, you should trust no one. That after being disappointed, you should expect the worst. That after being rejected, you should never open your heart again. But that is not the freedom I am leading you toward. I am teaching you something better. Wisdom without fear. Strength without hardness. Love without losing yourself. Forgiveness without returning to what continually wounds you. Faith without needing to control every outcome. This is the work I am doing within you. So do not return to an older version of yourself simply because it feels familiar. Do not go back to begging for what you have learned to release. Do not shrink yourself again just to make someone comfortable. Do not silence the wisdom you gained because another person does not understand your boundaries. Keep walking with me. I am not asking you to become someone else. I am bringing forward the person I have been forming beneath all that fear. The person who can love and still say no. Who can care without carrying everyone. Who can forgive without reopening every door. Who can feel uncertainty and still choose faith. My beloved, there is more courage in you now than you realize. Not loud courage, not the kind that needs to prove itself. Quiet courage. The courage to pray again, to hope again, to choose peace again, to wake up and continue. And as this change becomes clearer, you may notice something else. Not everyone will understand it. Some people were comfortable with the version of you who always said yes. Some understood you better when you needed their approval. Some may question the peace you are protecting or the direction you are taking. That can hurt, especially when you hoped they would understand. But, my child, you cannot build your life around being understood by everyone. There is a place in your heart that human approval was never meant to occupy, and I want to teach you how to keep that place for me. My beloved child, I know how deeply you want to be understood. You may tell yourself that the opinions of others do not matter, but when the person questioning you is someone you love, it hurts differently. When someone close to you does not understand why you are changing, why you are protecting your peace, or why you can no longer return to certain patterns, their words can remain in your heart longer than you want them to. I know. You wanted them to see your heart. You wanted them to understand that you were not trying to hurt anyone. You were simply learning, healing, growing, trying to walk more carefully with me. And perhaps you explained yourself again and again, hoping that if you found the right words, they would finally understand. But, my child, there will be moments when they do not. And you must learn that misunderstanding does not always mean you are walking in the wrong direction. You cannot make every person see what I am doing within you. You cannot force someone to understand a season they were never asked to walk through. So be gentle, be humble. Listen when correction is needed. But do not abandon the peace I am teaching you to protect simply because someone else is uncomfortable with your growth. You do not need everyone to understand you in order to keep walking with me. I understand you. I know the intentions you struggle to explain. I know when your silence comes from wisdom and when it comes from fear. I know when you are stepping away because you need healing. I know when you are trying your best, even when your best looks imperfect to everyone else. Come to me with your need to be understood. Bring me your desire for approval. Do not be ashamed of it. You were created to love and to be loved. It is natural to want acceptance, but human approval was never meant to become the foundation beneath your feet. People change. Opinions change. Someone may praise you today and misunderstand you tomorrow. If your peace rises and falls with every voice around you, my beloved, you will become exhausted trying to keep everyone pleased. And you were not created to live that way. Let my voice become louder than their opinions. When someone says you are not enough, remember what I have been teaching you. When comparison tells you that you are behind, return to me. When you see another person's life moving faster than yours, do not turn their season into a judgment against your own. Stay on your path. Walk at the pace I give you. You do not know everything I am doing in another person's life, just as they do not know everything I am doing in yours. So stop measuring your hidden journey against someone else's visible moment. Look at me. There is freedom here. You can love people without living for their applause. You can receive wise counsel without surrendering your identity to every opinion. You can forgive someone without giving their words permanent authority over your heart. And you can continue doing what is right even when no one celebrates it. Keep walking with me. There will be days when obedience feels quiet. No one notices the prayer you chose instead of anger. No one sees the temptation you walked away from. No one applauds the boundary you finally had courage to keep. No one knows how difficult it was for you to remain gentle when you could have responded from pain. But I see. I see the battles no one claps for. I see every small decision to choose peace. And, my child, you do not need an audience for your growth to matter. Let that free you. You no longer have to prove that you are healing. You no longer have to convince everyone that your intentions are good. You no longer have to explain every decision until every person agrees with you. Sometimes you can simply pray, act with love, and continue forward. Let me handle what you cannot change in another person's heart. You take care of what I have placed in yours. Keep it soft. Keep it honest. Keep it near me, and when someone's words hurt you, do not immediately build a home for those words inside your mind. Bring them to me first. Ask me, is there something here I need to learn? If there is, I will give you humility to receive it. And if there is not, I will give you peace to release it. That is maturity, my beloved. Not reacting to every voice. Not fighting every misunderstanding. Not needing to win every argument. Sometimes strength looks like remaining peaceful and continuing in the direction I have shown you. And as the noise around you becomes quieter, you will begin to recognize something that has been there beneath it all. A steady voice. Mine. It does not humiliate you. It does not rush you. It does not tell you that one mistake has destroyed your future. It calls you forward. When you are tired, it says, come closer. When you are uncertain, it says, walk with me. When you stumble, it says, rise again. And when fear tells you that you have gone too far to continue, my voice will remind you of something you need to hear now more than ever. My child, do not stop here. My child, do not stop here. I know you are tired. I know there are moments when continuing feels harder than it should. You have been carrying questions for a long time. You have been learning to release what you cannot control, to accept what is closed, and to walk without needing everyone around you to understand. That takes strength, and sometimes, my beloved, even a strong heart becomes weary. So if you are tired, rest, sit with me, let yourself breathe. You do not have to prove your faith by pretending you never need a moment to recover. I am not disappointed when you become tired. I am not standing over you demanding that you move faster. I know your limits. I know when your heart needs quiet. I know when your mind has carried enough for one day. Rest when you need to, my child. But do not confuse rest with surrendering your purpose. There is a difference between pausing and giving up. There is a difference between walking slowly and turning back. You may need to take smaller steps for a while. Take them. You may need to spend more time with me before you know what to do next. Come closer. You may need to cry before you can stand again. Then cry. I am not afraid of your tears. But when the moment comes to rise, do not remain on the ground simply because you have become familiar with being there. Rise again. Not because every problem has disappeared. Rise because I am still with you. Pray again. Not because you have found perfect words. Pray because your heart still knows where to come. Believe again. Not because doubt will never return. Believe because doubt does not have to make your decisions for you. Take the next step. It does not have to be a large one. Some of the most important steps you will ever take will look ordinary to everyone else. Getting out of bed and trying again. Having the conversation you have been avoiding. Finishing what you know needs to be finished. Walking away from something that keeps pulling you backward. Choosing patience when frustration wants to speak. Opening your heart to hope after disappointment taught you to expect the worst. These things matter. Do not wait until you feel fearless before you move. Courage is not always the absence of fear. Sometimes, courage is simply saying, God, I am afraid, but I will take this step with you, and I will meet you there. My strength is not reserved only for the days when you feel strong. It is available when yours begins to fail. So stop believing that you must carry yourself through everything alone. You do not. I am not asking you to do this alone. Walk with me. When your confidence becomes weak, lean closer. When your thoughts become heavy, speak to me. When yesterday tries to pull you backward, remember how far I have already brought you. You have survived days you once thought would break you. You have walked through moments you did not know how to face. Not perfectly, not without tears, but you kept coming back. You kept reaching for me, and you are here. That matters, my beloved. Do not dismiss the quiet perseverance I have built within you. You may look at yourself and see someone who is still struggling. I see someone who keeps returning to faith. You may see all the times you became afraid. I see all the times fear did not have the final word. You may remember when you fell. I see every time you stood again. So keep going. Not hurriedly, not anxiously. You do not have to race toward the future I have for you. Just refuse to let fear send you back into the life I am leading you beyond. One step, then another. And when you need rest, rest with me. When you need courage, ask me. When you need wisdom, listen. When you do not know what to do, remain near until the next step becomes clear. There is no shame in moving slowly when you are still moving in faith. Trust me with the pace of your journey. I am not comparing you with anyone else. I am not asking why you have not arrived where another person has arrived. I know exactly where you are, and I know what you need here. So breathe, my child. Then rise when you are ready. There is still good for you to do. There is still love within you to give. There is still purpose in the life before you. And there are still mornings you have not seen, conversations you have not had, and moments of peace you cannot yet imagine. Do not abandon them because today feels heavy. Stay with me through today. Tomorrow will have its own grace. And now, my beloved, I want you to do something more than simply hear these words. You have listened. You have brought me your fear. You have begun releasing what you cannot control. You have chosen to keep walking. Now let the faith quietly growing within your heart find its voice. You do not need to shout. You do not need beautiful words. Just speak to me from the place within you that still believes. Tell me what you choose to trust. Tell me what you choose to trust, my child. Not what fear has been telling you, not what disappointment has taught you to expect. Tell me what the quiet place within your heart still believes. You do not need a powerful voice. You do not need to feel completely certain. You do not need to wait until every doubt disappears. Come to me exactly as you are. If your faith feels strong today, bring it. If it feels small, bring that too. If your voice trembles while you speak, I am still listening. Faith does not become real only when fear disappears. Sometimes faith is simply choosing where you will stand, while fear is still trying to speak. So speak to me now. Tell me, my God, I trust you even when I cannot see. And I tell you, my beloved, your trust is not wasted. You cannot see the whole road. I can. You cannot know everything tomorrow will bring. I already stand beyond the place that frightens you. There is no part of your future where my presence cannot reach you. So you do not have to see everything in order to keep walking. Tell me, I believe you are with me. Yes, my child, I am. I was with you when you felt strong. I was with you when you questioned everything. I was near during the nights when your thoughts would not become quiet, and I will remain near when morning comes. My presence is not something you earn by having perfect faith. I am not waiting for you to become fearless before I draw close. I am here now. So let your heart speak again. I release what I cannot control. Give it to me. The outcome, the timing, the person, the unanswered question, the thing you keep turning over in your mind because you are afraid something will fall apart if you stop thinking about it. Place it here, in my hands. You may feel the urge to take it back. I know. You have carried some things for so long that worry has begun to feel like responsibility. But they are not the same. You can care deeply without carrying everything. You can act wisely without controlling every outcome. You can love without knowing how every story will end. So release it again. And if you must release it tomorrow, do it again. I will still receive it. Now tell me, I will not let fear choose my path. My beloved child, fear may still knock, but you do not have to open the door every time it comes. You may feel uncertainty and still choose wisdom. You may remember disappointment and still choose hope. You may have questions and still choose faith. This is the courage I have been forming within you. Quiet, steady, rooted. Not courage that says, nothing difficult will ever happen, but courage that says, whatever comes, I will not face it without God. Hold that close. And say one more thing to me. I will walk with you, one day at a time. Yes, this is all I am asking of you. Not the entire journey tonight. Today. Walk with me today. When tomorrow becomes today, walk with me again. I will give you wisdom when you need wisdom. I will strengthen you when your own strength becomes small. I will guide you when a decision must be made. And when you do not know what to do, remain near me until your heart becomes quiet enough to listen. You are not required to know everything. You are invited to know me. That is where your confidence can rest. Not in perfect circumstances. Not in the promise that nothing will ever change. Not in the approval of people. In me. Trust me. And when you struggle to trust, tell me. When you are afraid, tell me. When you are grateful, tell me. Let faith become a conversation between us, not a performance you are trying to perfect. I want your honest heart. That is enough. Now breathe, my beloved. You have spoken what you believe. You have placed what you cannot control into my hands. Do not immediately reach for it again. Do not leave this moment of surrender only to begin carrying tomorrow once more. Let it remain with me. Let tonight be quieter. Let your heart rest without demanding another sign. You have given me your questions. Now allow me to give you peace, because faith does not always end with an answer. Sometimes faith ends the day by whispering, "It is in your hands now." And then, my child, it rests. And in that rest, my beloved child, you do not need to be afraid of what comes next. Tomorrow may still hold questions. Some circumstances may still need time. There may still be things you wish you could understand today, but something within you can be different now. You do not have to enter tomorrow carrying the same fear. You do not have to wake up and immediately reach for every burden you placed into my hands. Leave it with me. Go forward in peace. Not because every problem has disappeared. Not because every prayer has already been answered in the way you hoped. Go forward in peace because you know who is walking with you. I am, and that has not changed. My child, you have spent enough time believing that peace will begin only when life becomes predictable. But life will not always explain itself to you. There will be unexpected turns. There will be days when you need to adjust your plans. There will be moments when you must wait before you understand what I am doing. When those moments come, remember this. You have somewhere to come. Come to me. Do not wait until fear has filled every corner of your mind. Do not wait until you are exhausted from trying to solve everything alone. Come early. Speak to me. Tell me what happened. Tell me what you are afraid of. Tell me when you are disappointed. And when something beautiful happens, come to me then too. Let me share your gratitude as well as your tears. I want more than the moments when you desperately need an answer. I want your heart, your ordinary days, your quiet mornings, your tired evenings, your small joys, your questions, your hopes. Walk with me through all of them. Stay with me. When you understand what I am doing, trust me. When you do not understand, trust me there too. When the road feels open and clear, walk with me. When you can only see one step ahead, give me that one step. You do not need extraordinary faith for every ordinary day. You need a heart that keeps returning. That is enough. My beloved, when fear returns, and there may be moments when it does, do not think that you have failed. Simply recognize it. Then return to what you know. I am with you. I have heard you. I have not forgotten you. I am still guiding you. I am still working in places your eyes cannot reach. The silence has never meant that I stopped caring. So do not return to the old habit of measuring my presence by how quickly circumstances change. Look for me differently now. Look for me in the peace that stops you from reacting too quickly, in the wisdom that tells you when to wait, in the courage that helps you take one more step, in the strength to release what you once chased, in the quiet conviction that tells you, I do not know what happens next, but I do not walk alone. This is faith, my child. Not pretending, not denying pain, not forcing yourself to feel strong every moment. Faith is bringing your real heart to me and choosing to remain again and again and again. So when you leave this quiet moment, do not rush. Carry peace with you. Speak more gently. Move more carefully. Do what is yours to do today and leave tomorrow where it belongs. You will not need tomorrow's strength today. When tomorrow comes, I will meet you with what you need. For now, receive the grace for this moment. Breathe. You are here. I am here. And that is enough for this step. My beloved child, there is still a road ahead of you. I will not tell you that every part of it will be easy. But I will tell you this, you will not walk it without me. When you are weary, come closer. When you are confused, ask for wisdom. When you are hurt, bring me the wound before it becomes bitterness. When you are joyful, lift your gratitude to me. And when you cannot find the words, simply remain. I understand silence too. Now, from that quiet place within your heart, tell me once more, my God, I trust you. I give you what I cannot carry. Lead me and I will follow. And I receive your faith, my child. Not because it is perfect, not because you will never struggle again. I receive the heart that keeps turning toward me. Let that be your confidence. You do not have to prove anything tonight. You do not have to force the next door open. You do not have to know how every unfinished story will end. Let me be God. Let yourself be held. Rest in my presence. Then, when morning comes, rise without carrying yesterday as though nothing has changed. Something has changed. You have remembered where your strength comes from. You have remembered where to place what is too heavy. You have remembered that uncertainty does not mean abandonment. And most of all, you have remembered that my presence does not depend on what you can see. So walk forward now. Slowly if you need to, quietly if you need to, but walk with me. Keep your heart near mine. Keep speaking to me. Keep choosing faith when fear asks for your attention. And whenever the road becomes difficult again, remember my voice calling you back. Stay with me, my beloved. I am not far away. I have not forgotten you. I am with you in the waiting. I am with you in the becoming. I am with you in what you understand and in what remains hidden. Your future does not need to be visible for my presence to be certain. So go forward in peace, my child. I am with you. Amen.